What's up guys, welcome to the channel. So pretty much I'm just going to show you guys how to get your drums in 808 right. It's actually really simple. You just have to, it takes practice, but it's actually really simple. For this video I have a sample pulled up because I'll be focusing strictly on drums. So if you guys want me to make a video on how I make my drill melodies, just let me know in the comments. DM me on Instagram. I'll have that up ready for you guys. So I have the sample here. Basically, okay, you get the point. So yeah, so pretty much I'm just gonna start by laying down some hi-hats. I'm just gonna get the general idea down. I'm gonna get more in depth afterwards on how I proceed with my drums. So yeah. I'm gonna copy paste these drums over, make it loop the basic drill pattern, and then we're gonna spice up afterwards. I'll show you guys how it's done. When it comes to hi-hats, you can use the out nub to your advantage. You can make it tighter or you can keep it pretty, just standard, but it's really up to you. I like to use the tighter one when I want to do more rolls, and then if I keep the hi-hat simple, I don't really touch the out knob. Like if you hear, like if I drag out the out knob like this, it's very tight, but if I leave it normal, it's like a very, I can't really explain it. It's just, you know what I mean. But I'm just gonna make it tighter just a little bit here. I'm gonna turn up the BPM a little bit. The standard BPM for drill is around 140 to 145 BPM. So I typically do 142 though. So I'm just gonna turn it up here. Very important, obviously, when you have the melody, you always want to EQ the low end. Obviously this melody doesn't really have a lot of low end, but I'm still gonna take it out anyway, just in case. But yeah, if you don't EQ it out, your 808 is gonna clash really badly and it's gonna create an ugly muddy sound. So obviously we don't want that, so you're just gonna EQ it out. Now I'm gonna spice up the hi-hats a bit, and then I'm gonna add some effects. I'm just gonna add some rolls first, and then we're gonna go ahead with the effects. So just gonna bring this over here to create a bounce. There you go. There it is. Simple hi-hat pattern. Copy paste that if you want, add variety, but I think for this one I'm just gonna repeat it. Add some reverb to it and then turn the decay down. Like I typically put it right under 1 second. If you look top left, you'll see it in FL Studio. I usually put it at around 0.8 seconds, so you can do that. And then you turn down the wet knob. Just makes it a little more spacey. Actually, I'm gonna add another 808 roll here. One trick that's actually really useful is you can put hi-hat rolls wherever you plan to put your kicks at, so it creates like a cool bounce. Also, it's cool to mess with the velocities of the hats. Now, a really cool trick you can do with hi-hats is panning. So here you'll see like I'll pan them left to right. It's a really small detail, but in the final production, it makes a big difference. Like it just makes the production sound fuller. I can't really explain it, but it's a really dope trick to use. Now, once I have my hats down, I typically just add extra sounds. Drums are starting to come together, man. Just the perks, we only added 3 sounds. The panning makes a really big difference. Like if I clone this pattern here and I show you it with no panning, like let's say I could clone it here and do so, like if you hear it with no panning, like it's cool, but like with the panning it brings it to a whole new level. So that just shows to you how much the panning can do to your drums. know, the bounce is coming together. And I'm gonna mess with the pitch of the sample just to see where I want my 808 to be. Now, a lot of you guys have been asking me about my kick sauce. So the first thing you always want to do, all right, and this is for any beat, but especially for drill beats, you want a soft clipper on your master, okay? You put it at the last slot of your master. Now, what the soft clipper does is it stops the kick from clipping on your master, but it's still clipping in your mix. So it sounds clean at the end. So it doesn't have that nasty distortion sound. And also, when you place your kick, you always want it to be max velocity. Now, for the kick, there are a lot of different ways that you can mix it. There's a lot of different ways that I mix it. So the first method I use is I just leave it where it's at right now. So max velocity at the C note, and it's just, you know, it's already kicking. It's already hitting hard. But let's say I want it to have a harder punch. I'll pitch it down 2 or 3. It depends how hard I want it, but most of the time it's going to be 2. So that's the second way I do it. I turn up the velocity here and I pitch it down 2. So first method is C note kicks, max velocity. Second method is A sharp kicks, max velocity. Someone described it to be a springy kick. I'm not sure what that means, but like, I mean, I guess it fits because I don't know. I see what he kind of meant though. It kind of gives the kick a bass of its own. Like if you listen to the C, it just depends what sound you're going for. So those are 2 options. Now, there's also a third way you can do it, which is with a soft clipper on the kick itself and on the master. So how you're going to do this is you're going to put a soft clipper on the kick. And what you're going to do here is, since it's already max velocity on the piano roll, you're going to turn up the kick in the channel rack so it can have a clean clipping sound. So let me just turn it up so I can show you guys. So it's like the kick isn't really like that loud, but it's still clipping super hard. Like it's being limited by the soft clipper, but it's still clipping super hard because we turned it up in the channel rack and in the piano roll, but the soft clipper's on it. So, you know, it's staying at a normal level. So this is something cool. I actually used this in the Lady Gaga drill remix that I did. So yeah. So those are the 3 ways you can mix your kick, but for this beat, I think I'm just going to pitch it down 2, like I showed you guys. Now I'm going to add the 808. Now with the 808, what I like to do a lot is I like to make it so it stops wherever the note on the piano roll ends. So, you know what I'm saying? So if I put it here, like if you listen, it's just gonna stop at the end of the note, like right here. So it just stops. Or, you know, you can just let it play. But this one's a little rare for me. I don't really like to do that because I believe that when you do this, when you make it stop where you want it to, it creates more space for the rapper. Yeah, it's personal preference. It just depends what you're going for. I usually, when I lay down an 808 pattern, I usually just lay down a very, very basic pattern and then I just spice it up with slides and whatnot. So that's what I'm doing here. Also turn it up in the channel rack. For the 808 slides, I typically like to make them shorter. So if you put it to 1/3 step and then I make the note shorter, so then it okay, higher up here. Also, when you're doing your slides, you don't want to think of it. I feel like a lot of producers have a tendency to think of it as a sound. It's not just a sound, it's an actual melodic instrument itself. So when you lay down your 808 patterns, you're kind of creating a melody with it. So that's what you want to, that's the type of mindset you want to approach your 808 patterns with, instead of just laying down random patterns. One thing I like to do as well is I like to pan the 808 notes as well. So I'm gonna pan these notes right here. Just gonna make them left, right, left, right. So bottom is left and upwards is right. I had to switch up to the kick here. Right here. I'm gonna pitch it back down since I feel like the 808 will sound doper at a lower note. So let's try that. Yeah, that's more like it. Yeah. That's hitting, bro. That's hitting. That's all it takes, man. It's not hard, you know. It's not hard to get hard hitting drums. You just tweak a couple knobs, man. That's all. Like I barely did anything here. You know, it's very simple. So I'm gonna add this stomp effect here. All these sounds are coming from the 808 Melody Orc kit, by the way. So I think I'm gonna keep this beat simple. Like you could add a bunch of like vox chops and, you know, vocal chops and all that stuff and top melodies, but I think I'm gonna keep this beat pretty simple. I'm just gonna add like one part with halftime. Yeah. Now the rest of the sounds will be added in the arrangement. You want to add some, you know, some risers and things like that. Well, pretty much all you need to add is a riser. You can add more if you want, but I usually just add a riser at certain points in the beat. And yeah, so pretty much I just like to arrange it like this. I just copy paste. Now sometimes what I like to do in the intro here is I like to make the snare hit after the kick as well. So go right here, go here. So snare. Oh, you know what would go hard on this actually? I should add a grime 808. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna add a grime 808. I usually like to put my my grime 808s at a pretty high pitch. So let's move it up to, yeah, around C7 here. So I don't like when it keeps going, when it doesn't stop. So we're gonna do the same thing that we did with the 808, where we made it so it stops when the note ends. So right here we're gonna go double click on the sound, and then you just turn all these down. You turn all the knobs down except for the hold. You just leave the hold max, and then yeah, so pretty much that's the beat, man. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like, man. Comment what I should do a tutorial on next. I was thinking maybe I was gonna do loop tutorial or melodies, but you know, just let me know in the comments, man. You know, let me know. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys next time.